All right, so welcome back to the DRS series. In the last video, we covered the rule builder main canvas, all of the options that the user has, and then we also covered the basic nodes. For this video, we will be covering the function nodes on the main canvas. There are a bunch of function nodes that we can see here. The first is just the definition for any type or interface. So if I drag and drop over here, you can see that the user can select the kind of the type, and it could be either type or interface. And the user can write down the definition of this interface or type. So yeah, that's it for the define a type interface node. As you can see, this is already being used here on the main canvas, like so. And for this one, the type definition is the tables present in our uh, ODS DB. So yeah, that's for the definition of the interface. Then we have the definition of a custom function. Um, so if the user wants to define a custom function for themselves to use, so they can define it over here. They can define the function name and then add some parameters. This is param1. The type could be any from this list. And then they can display, the display label of this would be something like count. Right, and they can select if this parameter is required for this function. Um, so, channels. And yeah, so basically this would create a function signature, and the function code the user would be able to write here. So, so yeah, I'm just going to save these changes. I can add multiple parameters, as you can see. And this is our basic definition of a custom function. Um, Now, you might be thinking that we have all of these definition nodes here for different functions. Like we have the standard deviation, the hair assign distance. I'm just going to quickly open each of these individually so you can see the kind of predefined nodes that we have here. So we have the formula for the standard deviation calculation, so the user can define that here. We also have the definition for our hair assign distance, which is basically used to calculate the distance between two geographical locations, very simply put. So yeah, this is the definition function for that. And now once the user would once the user is basically done defining all of these nodes, and now they want to actually use it in their rule, they can just go into the handle transaction canvas. And so this is now our sub canvas. And you can see that in this sub canvas over here, and I'm just making a rough like link over here. Of course, I'll be explaining the sub canvas in much more detail in the coming videos. But in the functions tab of the subcanvas, we have the call functions to the previously defined functions that we defined in our main canvas. So the call hair assign distance is now here, and we can choose to store the result in some variable. We have the function arguments as well that we can input here, and then basically we're just calling this function here, and we can connect it in between some nodes. So yeah, this is how these define and call function nodes are used. So I'm just going to quickly back out and see if anything else is left here. And yes, finally we just have the handle transaction, which basically would just create a new sub canvas. So handle transaction is basically the node. It is the function which creates, which has all the rule logic in it. And this is where the user would be defining the actual logic of the rule. So yeah, these are all of the function nodes on the main canvas. most of which are just the definition nodes. So for more detail on the handle transaction um, function, which basically opens up this whole new canvas with all of these nodes, I'll explain all of this in the next video, starting from the basic nodes, the function nodes, and the variables. So that's it for today. Thank you.